26. J. H. Duval. Some secrets of beautiful singing. A young French girl had just sung a group of songs in her own language and had won acclaim from the distinguished company present. They admired the rich quality of her voice, her easy, spontaneous tone production, and clear diction. A brilliant future was predicted for the young singer. One critic of renown remarked, "It is a long time since I have heard a voice so well placed and trained." "And who is your teacher?" she was asked. "It is Mr. Duval. I owe everything to him. He has really made my voice. I have never had another teacher, and all my success will be due to him," she answered. We at once expressed a desire to meet Mr. Duval and hear from his own lips how such results were attained. A meeting was easily arranged, and we arrived at the appointed hour, just in time to hear one of the brilliant students of this American French singing master. Mr. Duval is young, slim, and lithe of figure, with sensitive, refined features, which grow very animated as he speaks. He has a rich fund of humor and an intensity of utterance that at once arrests the listener. He came forward to greet the visitor with simple cordiality, saying he was pleased we could hear one of his latest finds. The young tenor was at work on an air from Tosca. His rich, vibrant voice of large power and range and of real Caruso-like quality poured forth with free and natural emission. With what painstaking care this wise teacher aided him to mold each tone, each phrase, till it attained the desired effect. Being a singer himself, Mr. Duval is able to show and demonstrate as well as explain. He does both with the utmost clearness and with unfailing interest and enthusiasm. Indeed, his interest in each pupil in his charge is unstinted. The lesson over, Mr. Duval came over to us. "There is a singer I shall be proud of," he said. "Several years ago, I taught him for a few months, giving him the principles of voice placement and tone production. This was in Europe. I had not seen him since then till recently, when circumstances led him to New York. He never forgot what he had previously learned with me. He now has a lesson every day and is a most industrious worker. I believe he has a fortune in that voice. Next season will see him launched, and he will surely make a sensation." Will you give some idea of the means by which you accomplish such results? The means are very simple and natural. So many students are set on the wrong track by being told to do a multitude of things that are unnecessary, even positively harmful. For instance, they are required to sing scales on the vowels A, E, I, O, U. I only use the vowel A for exercises, finding the others are not needed, especially excluding E and U as injurious. Indeed, one of the worst things a young voice can do is to sing scales on E and U, for these contract the muscles of the lips. Another injurious custom is to sing long, sustained tones in the beginning. This I do not permit. After telling you the things I forbid, I must enlighten you as to our plan of study. The secret of correct tone emission is entire relaxation of the lips. I tell the pupil, the beginner, at the first lesson, to sing the vowel A as loudly and as deeply as possible, thinking constantly of relaxed lips and loose lower jaw. A is the most natural vowel and was used exclusively in the old Italian school of bel canto. Long sustained tones are too difficult. One should sing medium-fast scales at first. If we begin with the long sustained tone, the young singer is sure to hold the voice in his throat, or if he lets go, a tremolo will result. Either a throaty, stiff tone or a tremolo will result from practicing the single sustained tone. Singing pianissimo in the beginning is another fallacy. This is one of the most difficult accomplishments and should be reserved for a later period of development. The young singer adds to scales various intervals, sung twice in a breath, beginning, not at the extreme of the lower voice, but carried up as high as he can comfortably reach. I believe in teaching high tones early and in showing the pupil how to produce the head voice. Not that I am a high-tone specialist, he added, smiling, for I do not sacrifice any part of the voice to secure the upper notes. But after all, it is the high portion of the voice that requires the most study, and that is where so many singers fail. The young student practices these first exercises and others 2.5 hours daily, at least 2 hours after eating, and comes to me 3 times a week. I suggest she rest 1 day in each week, during which she need not sing at all, but studies other subjects connected with her art. As the weeks go by, the voice, through relaxed lips and throat and careful training, grows richer and more plentiful. One can almost note its development from day to day. Words in the voice. When the time comes to use words, the important thing is to put the words in the voice, not the voice in the words, to quote Giuliani, the great teacher, with whom I was associated in Paris. More voices have been ruined by the stiff, exaggerated use of the lips in pronouncing than in any other way. When we put the words in the voice, in an easy, natural way, we have bel canto. Another thing absolutely necessary is breath support. Hold up the breath high in the body, for high tones, though always with the throat relaxed. This point is not nearly enough insisted upon by teachers of singing. The points I have mentioned already prove that a vocal teacher who desires the best results in his work with others must know how to sing himself. He should have had wide experience in concert and opera before attempting to lead others along these difficult paths. Because a man can play the organ and piano and has accompanied singers is not the slightest cause for thinking he can train voices in the art of song. I have no wish to speak against so-called teachers of singing, but say this in the interests of unsuspecting students. It is impossible, continued Mr. Duval, to put the whole method of vocal training into a few sentences. The student advances gradually and naturally, but surely, from the beginnings I have indicated, to the trill, the pizzicati, to more rapid scales, to learning the attack, and so on. Of course, diction plays a large part in the singer's development. With the first song, the student learns to put other vowels in the same voice with which the exercises on A have been sung, and to have them all of the same size, easily and loosely pronounced. Never permit the pronunciation to be too broad for the voice. The pronunciation should never be mouthed, but should flow into the stream of the breath without causing a ripple. This is bel canto. In teaching, I advise 2 pupils sharing the hour, for while one is singing, the other can rest the voice and observe what is being taught. It is too fatiguing to a young voice to expect it to work a full half-hour without rest. I was teaching in my Paris studio for a number of months after the war started, before coming to America. It is my intention, in future, to divide my time between New York and Paris. I like teaching in the French capital for the reason I can bring out my pupils in opera there. I am also pleased to teach in my own land, for the pleasant connections I have made here, and for the fresh, young American voices which come to me to be trained. Vocal mastery. What is vocal mastery? There are so many kinds. Every great artist has his own peculiar manner of accomplishing results, his own vocal mastery. Patti had one kind, Maurel another, Lehmann still another. Caruso also may be considered to have his own vocal mastery, inasmuch as he commands a vocal technique which enables him to interpret any role that lies within his power and range. The greatest singer of today, Chaliapin, has also his individual vocal mastery, closely resembling the sort that enabled Maurel to run such a gamut of emotions with such astonishing command and resource. In fine, as every great artist is different from his compeers, there can be no fixed and fast standard of vocal mastery, except the mastery of doing a great thing convincingly.